What are we serving today?
Today's feature will be about Eric. How long have I known you? Since
15. I think
2015. So I've known him for
Years.
10 years now.
That's the same for me too. That's around the same time
Yeah,
I met him, right?
Yeah.
pretty much. So we've all known you for like a decade.
as soon as I met Dan, I met these two.
So we're gonna be talking about your college life, or like the life that you grew up.
Before college in high school, just a little backstory. In high school, I didn't really drink. Actually, I didn't drink. Not really. I didn't drink at all. Didn't really do much. Only played sports. Focused on school. And my proudest moment was that I never missed a day of school. Never played hooky, so
Asian.
didn't do anything like that. So this is why we're talking only about college, because high school was not.
I have never been in a frat before. So I'm very curious about this. So what was your favorite part about living in a frat house?
So I actually didn't join a frat until my second year. So first year, I lived in the dorms, experienced that life, which was fun. Joining a frat, reason why I joined was, one of my high school friends went to the same college as me, asked me to join, to check it out. Living in a house with a bunch of dudes is pretty much what you would expect. It was dirty. There was a lot of empty alcohol cans everywhere, alcohol bottles. But, I was in an Asian fraternity, so I would like to think that most of us were somewhat clean, maybe a little bit cleaner, so it wasn't that bad, like what you imagine, maybe 80% of that. 60, 70, 80% of that, not 100% of that. It wasn't that bad, a lot of drinking, not that much studying, pretty much what you would imagine at the end of the day.
So did it like affect your academic life like a lot, or you were able to kind of like balance it out in a way since you were like a really good kid in high school?
So I had 3 years of this life. I would say the first year and a half, it was hard for sure. And the last year and a half wasn't as bad, obviously, because I knew how to navigate the life a little bit better. So it was a little bit easier. I wouldn't say it was still easy. So if you're looking to do this, kind of understand, what you're trying to do post college. Really, like if you're trying to become a doctor, this isn't probably the thing I would suggest. Like if you have an easier major, this should be fine. But again, if you're good at multitasking and really keeping yourself in check, I think it should be fine.
Do you know anyone from, just following up on that, like anyone in your brotherhood that actually became like a doctor? Like,
I would say there's a few people that, I know of that had done well. I know someone that became like a optometrist. So, like I think you have to.
Still a doctor.
Yeah, still a doctor for that. Like in that sense, yes.
What were some of your most memorable traditions or events or just things that happen in your frat life that you like remember forever?
I wouldn't say there's too many traditions that were like, life changing, but it comes down to really just the people that you meet. I'm not going to tell you right now that everyone that I've met through that life I keep in contact with. There's probably not even 10% that I really still keep in contact with. But, the memories that you make, it really does last a lifetime. And some of the friendships will last that lifetime as well. And a little side note, so, because of the frat is kind of how I'm through friends of friends is how I really met Jeanne. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't have met her at some point. It's a small group of people. And once you get introduced to someone else outside of that circle, then they'll introduce you to someone else. So it was all about my frat initially. I didn't really wander outside of that circle, but when someone finally did introduce me to, one of Jeanne's friends, and that's how I kind of met Jeanne, like that forever is something I would never change. Like if someone asked me today, like, would you still join this frat today? If it wasn't for Jeanne, I don't know. I would consider other options. But for the sole fact that I met these 3 people in this room right here, directly through joining that frat, but not intentionally, I wouldn't change anything. My friend introduced me to his brother, who knew Jeanne, who knew Coy and Dice. Jeanne was the last one in that group of circle to really come over.
We were all like really close. We were like us.
One moment that really stuck with me really is I wouldn't even call it necessarily fun. It was kind of stupid. We were living in an apartment in Irvine, and for whatever reason, we were like, let's see how many days we could drink. I think it ended up being close to like 3 weeks. Speaking about that, like they had that thing at least at UC Irvine where I think it was called like the Quarter Club, where we had a pub on campus and you had to drink every single day. You would have to go in and buy a beer or some sort of drink every single day for a whole quarter.
I
And
heard about that.
a lot of people did that. Not even just in like a lot of people, like a lot of my friends did it.
So 3 months.
3 months of just straight. I have to go, and then you get your name on the wall. How fucking stupid is? Like it played college students like so badly. They're like, oh, I want my little name on a plaque on the wall, and I get all. And then the pub made so much money, and really it's just a little name on the wall that no one knows who you are.
How did your frat life shape your personality? And
I would say from a personal perspective, it really opened me up. Again, like going back to when I was in high school, like it wasn't that I didn't have any friends. It was more so like, hey, I decided to not drink and really just kind of focus on friends, school, and sports. But from a social perspective, I'm not saying you have to drink to be social, but just being able to experience, that type of lifestyle, which is again, it's not for everyone. Really opened me up to be a little bit more friendly, I would say, and just to be, a little bit more out there. But again, from a professional standpoint, I think it kind of hindered me a little bit. Again, if you have a career path that you want to take, maybe reconsider this life. But from a career perspective, I would say like because you're not doing as well in school necessarily or as well as you can, it might hinder that process or slow it down or just delay it a bit. Nowadays, maybe not because college isn't really necessary. But when we were coming out of college, maybe I could have gotten a better degree. Maybe I could have gone for my master's. So again, I wouldn't say it hindered my career, but it probably delayed it a little bit longer than I would have liked.
You should tell them about your everyday routine.
Okay, this is still when we were like only 4 years removed from college. We don't do that like today. But we would drink on a weekday before work on a work day till like 3 or 4 in the morning and get like 2 hours of sleep and then go to work. Obviously that was not sustainable. But again, that was something we did quite often. I wouldn't say every day, obviously, but
What was the 3 meals that you had?
I don't cook, so I try to find the most economic meal that has the most. It's like the most bang for your buck. Back then, Chipotle was a big one. You get a lot of protein in there. It wasn't super expensive, and it was a good meal. And then like when you're hungover, you want to get pho. I spent within my means. I'm not picky, and I like routine. So eating the same thing.
Wait, you eat that like every single day?
I wouldn't say every single day.
In rotation. Plain broiler, pho, and Chipotle.
now there's people like now professionally working already still eat Chipotle's every day. Yeah.
It's good, yeah, but it's more expensive now, and they give you less, so it's like not really worth it.
Did being in a frat like helped you with like the whole leadership role?
Definitely not. No, being in that type of lifestyle, really, you're only in that type of lifestyle if you really want to party. Like nothing wrong with that. Again, I don't want to have that stigma where like, oh, only frat guys party. Everyone parties in college. It doesn't matter if you're in a frat. It's like a club. It really is a club. It's like these guys are dancers. They partied all the time. It really is just your choice of club. And I would not tell you if a frat tries to tell you they're going to give you connections and try to help you mentor your post college career. 90% of that is BS. There's always those one-off situations, but not everyone's going to get a job because of the frat. I would say like it's really up to you still to put in 90% of that work, 95% of that work. Don't think like, oh, I'm going to join a frat. I'm going to get these connections. I'm going to get, all these networking opportunities. It probably won't happen that way. So just keep that in mind.
While you were still like active with your frat, has there ever been a point when you're like, man, I can't keep up with this lifestyle, or like you're getting sick of it? Has that ever happened to you, or are you just like, oh, this is kind of great, like through that moment?
I would say, yeah, of course. It's like when it comes down to, I think, more or less academics, you're like, oh, shoot, I probably failed for this test. So like, and then you kind of like, you hide in your room for a few weeks to study. And you're like, you're regretting some choices you made over the last few weeks. But, then once you get past that test, you're like, all right, I'm good for the next few weeks. So I would say, no, to be honest, like, I didn't really get super tired of anything. I would say more or less it was just like some regrettable choices in terms of my schooling and just being more prepared for academics. I think that would probably be it. But yeah, from a lifestyle perspective, it was fine. Like, it really is just up to you what you want to do. No one forced anyone to like, hey, you have to party, you have to do this. And it was always just, the people that you lived with more or less. So like, it wasn't like, oh, I have to go out and do this every day because I'm in a frat. No, like if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, no one's forcing you. You can still have fun at your own pace and at your own leisure.
For someone that would be coming into a fraternity, like what would be like one big advice that you can give them?
I would say just really understand what you want to do and what you want to get out of your college career. You only have, quote unquote 4 years, and really just don't be caught up in this, image like, oh, those are the cool guys or whatever. Like, this is where like the life is. No, like there's a lot of things you could do on campus that you could get the same type of experiences, meet the same type of people. There's not just one road that you have to take to like, oh, these are where the parties are at. Like you could just do whatever you want to do and really just understand what that brings in. Again, just understand the career path you want to take post college.
Yeah.
Think at least 5 years ahead of so 1 year post college what your life would look like, so don't just think, oh, what I want to do tomorrow, what I want to do for this year. Because again, once you get down that lifestyle, sometimes it's hard to like break certain things that you do. So really just kind of understand your needs and wants at least 5 years out.
I know that with that, there's like a culture going around in frat and Greek life. There's also like this expectation of like what the type of person that you're supposed to be. Did you ever feel pressured to do anything? And then did you ever feel like you were short of those expectations?
No.
Coming from the group or like coming from leadership of the group?
No, again,
Like that?
Again, I think there's a bad stigma around like, oh, frat, like just, I don't know if it's because of movies, pop culture, whatever.
Yeah.
There's like obviously some things that are probably true, like every party, obviously, but nothing of that nature where it's like, oh, like you do all these things and like, so like realistically speaking, I don't think there's anything that's like a stigma that there's nothing that you have to meet. Like there's no, like you don't have to be that guy. You don't have to be like a certain person.
Is there one experience that defines your whole time spent within the frat?
It really is just the people that I met, and really not just from the frat itself, but like I guess I don't know if we consider indirectly, but just the people that like the friends of friends that like I met, and just everyone else that kind of indirectly was because of the frat. Is like something that I would not change and something that like I'm forever grateful for.
After we talk about all of your experience about frat and everything, how would you feel? Let's say you have a son that's once he attend college and he might be interested in joining one. What would your reaction be like? Would you kind of be like, yeah, go ahead, join it. I had a good experience, or are you going to be like a little more protective because like you want him to focus more in school?
I would say again, it just comes down to what he wants to do for college and just post college. I wouldn't be against him joining one because again, to me it's just more like any other club. You just decide to join this club versus that club. If people want to drink, they want to party, they're going to do that regardless. It's not like, oh, I have to be in this fraternity to be able to party. So nothing's going to stop him from doing what he wants to do with those type of, I guess, stigmas. But it's, so it's just, if he finds a good close group of friends in there that he wants to hang out with, that's fine. I'm 100% okay with it. So as long as he's responsible and wants to do what he wants to do, that's okay with me.